Hello, everyone. Welcome back to the Economic Empowerment Podcast. Today is day 2, and today I'll be going to look at posters, and later I'll take pictures of what I have learned, and basically do a discussion with you guys, which I think is going to be really cool. So the first poster I looked at it focuses on the relationship between bank concentration and risk, which is talks about the role of banks. And let's just go through it little by little. And when I looked at this poster, the presenter wasn't there, so I'm just gonna quote everything later. And so the problem I think the researcher is trying to tackle here is there no consensus regarding the relationship between the bank concentration and risk. And there are both signs showing there's positive relationship and negative relationship. And the role of bank capital in shaping the concentration risk relationship is that bank capital is positively correlated with bank concentration in the US, and bank capital matters more for financial risk. So now entrepreneur's problem, because entrepreneur always chooses between the gambling project and the prudent project, and which there are limited liability for entrepreneurs. And as we all know, entrepreneurs are financially constrained. So there are 4 types of entrepreneurs as shown here. So for the banker's problem, I'm not going to go into the whole model because I just think it's way too complicated as for right now to just explain the whole set of equation. But bankers compete for loans and deposits, and I think that's just the basic that I think people should take it. And you can see in the graph, and this is the deposits, this is the risky loans, and these are the safe loans. And this is by time, because this is the minutes. And then you have 2 mechanisms. There's the risk shifting mechanism, and which is positive or negative concentration risk relationship, which the conclusion it finds is that as bank concentration increases, the loan rates can both increase or decrease when the risk both increase or decrease. The direction of risk shifting mechanism in the general equilibrium depends on how banks concentration affect the loan rate. And then there's the net margin mechanism. It's like negative concentration risk relationship. When bank concentration goes up, the net interest margin goes up, and the entrepreneurs goes up, and the loan size goes down, the risk goes down. So then the researcher put it in a couple graphs because it shows the relationship, and the loan rate starts to decline when bank capital constraint is non-binding. So as we can see here, the price of capital falls, and the risk shifting mechanism plus non-binding capital constraint actually increases it, and then the elasticity of loan demand actually falls. And also, the bank concentration and loan rate data is shown here by this model as well, and this is the HHI. And there's a note here saying bank HHI in the data inversely approximates the number of bankers in the model. And there are more details provided in the paper, of course. And I encourage you guys to check out the paper. And 1 second. Yeah, this is the guy who did the research, Yi, from Nankai University, and recently graduated from LSE. As we can see here, the risk capital increases and then plateaus here, and as the number of banks as it goes up. So yeah, and this is just a basic summary of the relationship between bank concentration and risk. And the key takeaways is that when bank capital constraint is binding, there's an ambiguous relationship between bank concentration. And the 2 mechanisms basically operates in the opposite direction. And when the bank capital constraint is non-binding, negative relationship between bank concentrations and risk. And which this means that they operate in the same direction. And yeah, I hope to see you guys in the next episode.